Hello and good day, meteorologist Mike Adcock with an update on Tropical Depression Seniang east of Mindanao. This briefing is based on the 6th Zulu Japan Meteorological Agency advisory from the 28th of December. Take a look at satellite imagery. We do see a better organized system than we saw yesterday. Convection is starting to consolidate better. Still have this this dry air being entrained into the center. As a result, the Dvorak analyses right now seeing convection wrapping about 3/10 around the center, so that's yielding a data T of 1.5, which supports a weak tropical depression. Still needed to get about 2.5 to become a tropical storm, so still got a ways to go. As of 2 p.m. Philippines time, the information out of Japan Meteorological Agency was the center of circulation was estimated about 130 kilometers east-southeast of Bislig, there in Surigao del Sur, or about 300 kilometers southeast of Surigao City. It is moving almost due west at 15 kilometers per hour. There is expected to be more of a west-northwestward shift, though, over the next 24 hours. As this system starts to make landfall. Winds currently with this system sustained at 55 kilometers per hour with gusts of 85. That's in a small section there associated with the convection closer to the center of circulation, and our pressure now down to 1,002 hectopascal. Now, with this system expected to make landfall Monday morning there in Surigao del Sur, we do have public storm warning signals in effect. The locations there highlighted in yellow are storm warning signal number 1. This is mostly in the eastern Mindanao area, as well as a couple locations there in the Visayas, to include southern Leyte, Bohol, and Siquijor. Now, as this system makes landfall, anticipate moderate to heavy rainfall. Could see up to 15 millimeter per hour rain totals, as well as some occasional gusty winds. The winds are not going to be a significant factor with this. However, any loose objects out there could be picked up and create more damage, so something to keep in mind there. The biggest concern is going to be that rainfall, so those in low-lying areas, keep an eye out for flash flooding. Mountainous areas, you're going to watch out for landslides. The biggest threat I have with this, or the biggest concern that I have with this system, is really going to be those living near rivers and streams. Those locations are at the greatest risk of being washed away, dealing with flooding. So that's really where I'm focusing a lot of my concern right now. Radar across the area does show that rainfall making its way into the eastern portions of Mindanao, as well as the Visayas. Have had reports already in Surigao del Sur of rain totals exceeding 60-70 millimeters per hour over the past 6 hours. So this is just going to continue as this storm system makes its way through. Whereas what we'd see with a typhoon, where we're really focused on the center of circulation for those winds, this is more of a rainmaker. So it's the broad scale system that we're keeping an eye on. Let's go ahead and pull out, if we may, and look at kind of what's going on synoptically. Here's our system Seniang making its way westward. Do have this tail end of a cold front that's moving out, high pressure building in behind it. That's established the northeast monsoon, so that's going to keep Luzon dry and pretty fair over the next few days, and going to keep this system mostly in a westward motion, as it's kind of on the northern periphery of the intertropical convergence zone. If we look at this morning's JMA surface analysis, you see a lot of that being played out here. High pressure dominating the northern portions of the region, so that's going to keep this system mostly on that westward projection. Could see some northern shifts, and that's just going to be some minor perturbations there in the subtropical ridge. Now, let's go ahead and look at the various forecast tracks. Here's the official forecast from Japan. Again, taking more of a northwesterly or west-northwesterly track across northeastern Mindanao. Really seeing a lot of the heavy rainfall and gusty winds affecting the Caraga region of Mindanao before it emerges and affects the central Visayas. If we look at Pagasa's forecast, it's a little bit further closer to Surigao City. Now, the interesting thing is once it does get into the Visayas, it actually more of a west-southwesterly, or just south of due west motion. This brings Bohol, Sigior, as well as Negros under the scope here. Right now, looking at impacts possible for Dumaguete City. And if we move toward the JTWC forecast, it's a little bit further north yet. Still, all those regions, Bohol, Cebu, Negros, being focused on here. Again, I want to emphasize, though, this is not a strong typhoon, so we're not focused particularly on the lines that I've been showing you. It's this cone of uncertainty really is amplifying what's going to go on here. It's not the winds near the center, but it's that rainfall around the periphery of this storm. So all the locations here shaded, you're going to see the possibility of some heavy rainfall. So that does include all of northern Mindanao and much of the Visayas, as well as Palawan, over the next several days. Storm system, in terms of the winds, and you can see JTWC here, I think is pretty reasonable. Keeping this a tropical depression, could see this become a tropical storm prior to landfall, and then weakening as it crosses the Visayas, and then re-intensifying after it emerges into the Sulu Sea. And that matches up generally with the model guidance out there. Most of them are focused more toward Dumaguete. I do want to point out the GFDN solution takes it a little bit further north, so that takes it closer to Cebu City, Bacolod, as well as Iloilo. That does appear to be an outlier at this time, but it is something to keep in note regardless. Now, intensity, again, I've been saying this, really it's not going to be much of a strong storm. There are a couple storms that bring it to a severe tropical storm typhoon force. I think those are going to be outliers just with the amount of land that it's going to be dealing with. This is going to be a borderline tropical depression, tropical storm over the next few days. Of course, the story is going to be that rainfall. Here is the accumulated precipitation forecast off the GFS model, and this is between this morning, Sunday morning at 8 a.m. Philippines time through Friday morning at 8 a.m. and you can see heavy rainfall across much of the central Philippines as well as northern Mindanao. You could see rainfall totals up to 200 to 300 millimeters over the course of this week. All right, so let's take a look at some of the weather observations across the southern Philippines right now. Seeing rainfall affecting a lot of locations here in the locations you see here with the double dots. These are all reporting rain. So across eastern Mindanao, even Cebu City right now reporting some rain. Let's take a second and focus in on this observation. This is Hinatuan. They're in Surigao del Sur. Right now, they're seeing heavy rainfall. Pressure right now, 1,004 hectopascal or 29.65 inches, and that is part of the basis for the 1,002 report from JMA. The point I want to emphasize here, though, is with this observation, they reported 66 millimeters of rainfall over the past 6 hours. So from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m., they picked up 66 millimeters or about 2.6 inches of rainfall. That's a significant amount of rain and just emphasizes what we're going to be dealing with here over the next few days. Of course, keep it tuned over at westernpacificweather.com as we continue to monitor the progress of this system. You can also follow along on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. You can also follow my various social media networks as well. Thank you all for tuning in. Have a good day and take care.